Welcome. I'm really glad you're here. Tonight, I'd like to share something a little different with you. This is part of a series where we gently step into another time and place, not to rush through history, but to experience daily life as it once was. Stories like these are meant to help you unwind, to relax, and simply enjoy listening. And tonight, we're going to spend some time in ancient Rome. So, get comfortable and let's begin. Imagine you are in ancient Rome in the early years of the 2nd century. The city is at the heart of a vast empire, one that stretches across seas and continents, connecting distant lands through roads, trade, and time. Rome is powerful now, confident, well established. And yet, you see, daily life within its walls continues much as it always has. Beyond the great forums and monuments, beyond the noise of public life, there are quieter places where the empire feels far away. Here, time moves more slowly, and life is shaped not by history, but by habit. And so, in one such place, in a quiet Roman house, a new day is beginning. This is the home of a wealthy Roman family. From the street, the house appears modest, almost plain, and that is quite intentional. You see, Roman houses are built this way deliberately. Here, privacy is highly valued. Wealth is not meant to announce itself to the street, but to be revealed inwardly to those who are invited inside. Once you step through the door, the space opens. At the heart of the house is a wide room open to the sky. This is where light enters each morning, falling into a shallow stone basin set into the floor where rainwater is collected. This space is called the atrium, and it truly forms the centre of the home. The air here is cool. The walls are thick, built to keep out the heat that will come later in the day. Around the atrium, rooms unfold quietly. Sleeping chambers, storage spaces, rooms meant for conversation and rest, all arranged with order and intention. Further inside, there is a private garden surrounded by columns, green, shaded, and calm. This part of the house is not for work or display. It's meant for walking, thinking, and resting the eyes. And it is here, in this gentle stillness, that you begin to notice something. There are no clocks, no ticking, no numbers marking the hours. Time in this house is not counted, but it's felt. I often find myself wondering what that must have been like, to live without watching the time pass, to let the day reveal itself gradually through light and shadow. Morning is known by the angle of the sun, midday by the warmth it brings, evening by the lengthening of shadows along the floor. Out in the city, people rely on sundials in public squares or water clocks in official buildings. But here, inside the home, there's no need for that. The day unfolds as it always does. And as the light continues to shift, the household begins to wake. Movement starts quietly. Footsteps cross the floor. Doors open just enough to let air circulate. This is a large household, and everyone knows their place within it. The man is the head of the family. In Roman life, he is called the dominus. He holds authority, both legal and social, and represents the household in the public world. His wife oversees the inner life of the home. She is known as the domina, and in many ways, she is the one who keeps everything running. She manages the servants, the supplies, the rhythm of daily life. Her role may seem quiet, but it's essential. Have you ever wondered what it's like to live in a place where every role is clearly defined? Where the day moves forward not through constant decisions, but through routine. Here, that structure brings a sense of calm. And so, as the household settles into the morning, it's time for the first meal of the day. Romans don't linger over breakfast. It's simple, practical, meant only to prepare the body for what comes next. They call this meal ientaculum. Bread baked the day before is broken into pieces. It may be dipped into water or wine, or eaten with olives, fruit, or a little cheese. There are no forks on the table. Food is eaten with the fingers or with a simple spoon. The meal is quiet, unremarkable, and finished quickly. Soon the day will carry people outward into duties and obligations. But for now, the house holds this gentle beginning. As the day moves on, the household turns inward. The brightest hours are spent inside, where the thick walls keep the rooms cool and shaded. This is when much of the real work of the house takes place. The woman of the house moves through the rooms with quiet purpose. She gives instructions to the servants, calmly and efficiently. She knows the household in detail, what is stored, what is needed, what must be prepared next. In many ways, she is what we would today call a house manager. She coordinates the running of the home, overseeing a large staff of enslaved workers who keep everything in motion. Slavery is common in Roman society, and it plays an essential role in daily life. But you see, slavery here does not always look the way we might imagine it today. Many enslaved people are highly skilled and educated. Some manage accounts, some teach the children, others oversee parts of the household on behalf of the family. They may be entrusted with money, responsibilities, and authority, even while remaining unfree. The household depends on their knowledge and experience, and under the careful direction of the domina, the house functions smoothly. In one of the rooms, wool is being cleaned and combed. Fibers are spun into thread, then wound neatly, ready for the loom. You see, one of the most important activities in a Roman household involves textiles. Clothing, blankets, and household linens all depend on it. What's interesting here is that weaving is not just practical, it's symbolic. A well-run household is one where wool is prepared, spun, and woven with care. Even in wealthy homes, this work is taken seriously. The domina oversees it closely, ensuring quality and order. Textile work represents stability, discipline, and continuity, values that are deeply respected in Roman life. On another side of the house, a different kind of work is underway. Education begins early in wealthy Roman families. From a young age, children are taught at home, often by enslaved tutors, many of them Greek and highly educated. They learn to read, to write, and to speak with clarity. On smooth wax tablets, letters are traced carefully with a stylus. Mistakes are easily erased from the wax tablet by smoothing over the surface. Lessons are spoken aloud, repeated quietly. Education here is constant, woven naturally into the day rather than set apart from it. And throughout all of this, the house remains in motion. Servants move steadily from room to room. Some carry water from storage jars. Others tend the fire, making sure it burns evenly. Food is prepared. Tools are cleaned. And messages are delivered. Each task is small on its own. Together, they keep the household running. The movement is continuous, practiced, and largely unseen. Now, there is one more aspect of daily life that touches everything: religion. In Roman life, religion is not separate from the day. It's woven into it. Every household has a small shrine, usually set into a wall or corner of the home. Here, offerings are made each day to the household gods, protectors of the family and the home. A bit of food, a splash of wine, a quiet gesture. The ritual is simple, familiar, and brief. It marks the day, offering protection and continuity. By the time the afternoon deepens, the house feels settled. Every space has been used, every role fulfilled. Soon the light will soften again, and the household will begin to prepare for evening. But for now, the day holds steady, and you can remain here, listening as life continues around you. As the afternoon slowly gives way to evening, the atmosphere inside the house begins to change. The light softens, shadows stretch along the floor, and the heat of the day finally begins to
loosen its grip. And so, this is the moment when the household starts to prepare for the most important meal of the day. You see, in Roman life, the evening meal is not simply about eating. It's a pause at the end of the day, a moment to gather, a time for nourishment, conversation, and presence. They call this meal the cena. In the kitchen, activity picks up again. Fires are tended more carefully now, fed and adjusted to provide steady heat. Pots are set in place. Ingredients are brought forward, measured by experience rather than by rule. And this meal will be very different from the simple food eaten earlier. Bread is prepared once more, warm if possible. Vegetables are cleaned and cooked slowly. Lentils, beans, leeks, onions, cabbage. These are familiar foods, staples of the Roman table. And in a wealthy household like this one, there may also be meat or fish, roasted or stewed, flavoured with herbs, garlic, and plenty of olive oil. What's especially interesting is how much Romans rely on sauces. One of the most common is garum, a fermented fish sauce used throughout the empire. Its smell is strong, but is used sparingly, mixed with oil, vinegar, or herbs to deepen flavour. Fruit is set aside for later: figs, grapes, apples, whatever the season provides. Nothing here is rushed. The meal is meant to unfold slowly. Now, the family doesn't eat in the kitchen. Instead, they gather in a room arranged especially for this time of day. Low couches are placed around a table, and the space feels intimate and deliberate. This room is called the triclinium, and here's something that often surprises people. Rather than sitting upright, the family reclines as they eat, resting on one arm, reaching for food with the other. To us, it might seem unusual, but for the Romans, this posture signals something important. The work of the day is done. Servants move quietly through the room, bringing dishes, refilling cups, clearing plates as needed. There's no cutlery as we know it. Food is eaten with the fingers, or with a spoon when necessary. Knives are used mainly for cutting, not for eating. Hands are washed before and after the meal, often with lightly scented water. Cleanliness, even in these small rituals, matters. And so, the cena becomes more than just a meal. Conversation flows easily, about the day, about small pieces of news from the city, about plans yet to come. This isn't the time for serious business. It's a moment to unwind. Children may be present, watching, listening, learning simply by being there. The domina keeps an eye on the rhythm of the meal, making sure everything moves smoothly. The dominus presides gently, guiding conversation without force. There's a sense of ease here, a quiet closing of the day. As the meal draws to an end, things slow naturally. Fruit is brought out, perhaps a handful of nuts or something lightly sweetened with honey. wine are diluted with water, as it usually is, and sipped slowly. And now oil lamps are lit around the house. Their warm light replaces the fading glow of day, softening the walls and corners of the room. Outside, the sounds of the city begin to fade. There's no rush to leave the table. Some linger, talking quietly. Others step briefly into the garden, enjoying the cooler air. Eventually, the household begins to disperse. Servants clear the room. The fire is lowered. Doors are secured for the night. And little by little, the house settles. The day, with all its movement, its routines, its quiet activity, comes to a close. And as night takes its place, the Roman house grows still once more, ready to begin again when the light returns. And with that, our time in ancient Rome comes to an end. Thank you for sharing this story time with me. And if you're still here, I'm truly glad you stayed. If you enjoyed spending time in this story, feel free to leave a small emoji in the comments, maybe a moon or a candle, just so I know you were here. And if there's a place, a time, or a kind of story you'd like to visit next, I'd love to read your thoughts. Until next time, take care.